The National Cathedral of Ghana, once envisioned as a majestic symbol of national unity and religious significance, now finds itself at the center of a deepening controversy that has gripped the nation. Following years of political promises, multimillion-dollar expenditures, and public skepticism, the government has moved decisively to dissolve the Board of Trustees overseeing the project. This decision has been met with stiff resistance from the board, who challenge the government's narrative and raise questions of transparency and fairness. As the dust settles, the fate of one of Ghana's most ambitious national projects hangs in the balance. On July 18, 2025, President John Mahama directed the dissolution of the National Cathedral Board of Trustees and the closure of the Secretariat, citing a damning audit that flagged significant financial and governance irregularities. The audit, which is yet to be fully published, reportedly uncovered discrepancies in payments made to architects at David Ajay and Associates, with figures as high as GHS 4.9 million in unexplained or mismanaged transactions. Government officials also stated that the total amount spent on the project to date stands at nearly $97 million, well beyond the previously cited $58 million. In response, the government has initiated a forensic audit in collaboration with the Auditor General and the Attorney General's office, signaling an intensified push for accountability. But the Board of Trustees, chaired by respected clergy and public figures, has pushed back strongly against these developments. In a detailed statement, the board accused the government of acting unilaterally and misrepresenting the findings of the audit. They argued that the government's briefing presented only a selective portion of the auditor's management letter, omitting the board's responses and corrective actions. The board also emphasized that they had been working in good faith with the Ministry of Local Government to address issues raised, and were taken aback by the abrupt move to dissolve them, without further consultation. The situation is complicated by the fact that the National Cathedral Ghana is a company limited by guarantee. Legally, such a structure requires specific procedures for dissolution, including agreements by its members and fulfillment of legal obligations. As of now, the government has made clear its intent to begin this legal process, but the actual dissolution may take time and could be subject to contestation. The core of the current dispute centers around accountability, both financial and procedural. The audit reportedly highlighted procurement irregularities, lack of transparency in contract awards, and unclear records of disbursement. Particularly concerning to many observers is the large gap between public figures and actual amounts spent. For instance, while the government had previously acknowledged spending $58 million, the latest update reveals expenditures closer to $97 million, suggesting a massive underreporting or lack of disclosure. The government maintains that some of these payments were made to contractors and consultants, including Sir David Ajay's firm, for work completed, but details remain opaque. Adding to the complexity is the symbolism of the National Cathedral Project itself. Launched in 2017 under then-President Akufo-Addo, the cathedral was envisioned as a 5,000-seat sanctuary and interdenominational worship center that would house a Bible museum, a national Christian library, and serve as a hub for religious tourism. The project was meant to be funded through a combination of public seed money and private donations. However, the delays in construction, rising costs, and political controversy have turned public sentiment against the project in recent years. To many Ghanaians, what was once a source of pride has become a cautionary tale of poor governance. Critics argue that the money spent so far could have gone toward more pressing social needs like education, healthcare, and infrastructure. Others defend the project's cultural and spiritual value, but question the process by which it has been managed. The lack of regular updates, public access to financial reports, and clear procurement procedures have all eroded public trust. The government's decision to dissolve the board and suspend the Secretariat appears aimed at resetting the project's governance, but questions remain about whether this is a genuine attempt to restore transparency or a politically motivated move. The board's insistence on continuing their mandate, despite government pressure, highlights the tension between institutional autonomy and executive authority. Looking ahead, the forensic audit will be a crucial step in determining the project's future. If the audit confirms financial mismanagement or abuse of public funds, it could lead to legal consequences for those involved. On the other hand, if it reveals that the board acted within the bounds of the law but suffered from systemic miscommunication or external interference, the current government could face backlash for what some may see as a politically charged dissolution. There is also the question of what becomes of the physical site and partially completed structure. As of now, no official decision has been made on whether to resume, redesign, or abandon the project altogether. Proposals to repurpose the site for a different national use have been floated, but nothing concrete has been agreed upon. The public will be watching closely to see whether the nearly $100 million already spent will be salvaged in any meaningful way. In conclusion, the National Cathedral controversy is more than a dispute over bricks and contracts. It is a reflection of deeper issues about governance, accountability, and national identity. Ghana stands at a crossroads. It can choose to learn from this episode by strengthening oversight, ensuring transparency, and rethinking how national projects are planned and executed. Or it can allow this moment to be buried under political spin and bureaucratic inertia. The coming months, shaped by the outcome of the forensic audit and the legal path ahead, will determine which path the nation takes. Regardless of political allegiance, one truth stands out: national cathedrals may be built on stone, but nations are built on trust. And once broken, trust is far harder to rebuild than any monument.